Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for being with us here on News Center Maine Plus. Meteorologist Ryan Breton with a live update on what's going on. We have rain and wind that's crossing through the state. More than 20,000 outages at this point. 2 hours ago, that was just a couple thousand. So things have really ramped up. 53 degrees in Portland. It's the warmest we have been in about a month. We have southerly winds sustained at 25 miles per hour, gusting right now to 47, and the pressure is falling rapidly, a sign that we're getting into the worst of this right now. Bangor just gusted to 55 miles per hour. That is the highest gust we have seen at the Bangor airport so far today. 56 degrees in Bangor right now. Here's a look at Kennebunk. It's 51 there. Here's an updated list of the highest gusts. You see that new Bangor gust that just came in to 55 miles per hour. Portland 48, that was in the last hour, along with the Augusta gust to 49 miles per hour. Here are the current gusts, the 2 o'clock observations. There you see the Bangor 55, Bar Harbor gusting to 52. Rockland, Wiscasset in the 30s, but Portland gusting to 47. Right now, that core of strong winds, a couple thousand feet above the ground, is moving through the Gulf of Maine, and it's going to traverse through the coastline and the coastal plain over these next 2 or 3 hours, moving from southwestern Maine right down the coast. So the worst of the weather is yet to come, but it's not going to last all evening or certainly all night. This is really a quick wind event that's moving through. Live radar shows we have steady rain right now to the north of Bangor up into Aroostook County. We have some downpours here in the Gulf of Maine. Those probably will contain some of the strongest winds we've seen so far. And then a squall line moving through metro Boston with some thunder and lightning right around Lawrence, Massachusetts. This is right ahead of the cold front, which is located near Worcester, Mass, in central Mass right now. And you can see the front here. Out ahead of the front, the wind coming in out of the south. Behind it, the winds change direction. And then all of western New England, the winds are now coming in out of the west. Once that happens, the threat for damage and power outages will go down considerably. So it's really between now and about 6 or 7 o'clock from west to east that we will have this risk for strong gusty winds. I want to send you outside. Meteorologist Dana Osgood is with us. She is on the weather deck with more on what's going on with the wind out there. Hi, Dana.
Hi, Ryan. I am outside right now on the News Center Maine weather deck, and we've so far seen a lot of wind, especially some pretty strong wind gusts too. I would say right now it's not raining exceptionally hard, maybe light to moderate rain, but we actually had a wind gust that was strong enough to move the patio furniture on the weather deck, and those wind gusts are only going to continue to increase over the next few hours. I did want to take a look at some of those power outage numbers. The most current outages I have right now is about 10,500 outages in New Hampshire and just under 20,000 outages here in Maine. So that is going to continue as the winds continue to peak over the next few hours. We will continue to have more updates both in the studio and out here on the weather deck. So I'll send things back inside to you, Ryan.
Thanks very much, Dana. And that is about the calmest, perhaps, and I use that word lightly, it's looked in about 20 minutes out there. You happen to be in between some of the gusts because it has been howling, as you can attest if you've been in the Portland area. I've heard from people up and down the coast. Had a report from a reliable weather watcher of a 59 mile per hour wind gust at Scarborough Beach. That was about 45 minutes ago. So here's the front now. It is sliding to the east. You might even hear the rumble of thunder as this squall line right now in the Merrimack Valley in Massachusetts makes its way into York and Cumberland counties. So far, we have already had some damage, and looks like in the last few minutes, a few more damage reports coming in out of greater Bangor. Some of the most recent ones from the Portland area in North Windham, a large tree, power lines down, blocking Page Road in Windham. In Sanford, a large tree down across Main Street, and another report of a tree down in Kennebunk blocking one of the roads there. Those will be the types of things that we see over these next few hours, and it's all ahead of that front, which you can see right now is starting to move through central New Hampshire. The wind direction's changing there out of the west in Grafton County, New Hampshire. 57 in Laconia, out ahead of that front. 53 right now in Portland. We're at 56 degrees in Bangor. So this all traverses east. If you're staying home for the next 2-3 hours, you're probably going to be in pretty good shape if you're in southern Maine. If you're in eastern Maine, you'll have to give it another couple of hours after that. By 6 o'clock, the front located near Rockland and near Waterville, so the strong winds still continuing in eastern Maine at that point, but in southern and western Maine, the risk for additional power outages will be greatly reduced. Overnight tonight, the temperatures do drop, but as we've been talking about for quite a while now, there should be a long enough period of time between the rain ending and the temperature hitting freezing that we are able to dry out a lot of the surfaces. Down to 32 in Berlin, New Hampshire and Rangeley at 8 o'clock, but still 41 in Bangor, 42 in Rockland. By midnight tonight, you drop to freezing in a lot of southern and western Maine, and before then near the New Hampshire border. But in eastern Maine, we're still near or above freezing at midnight, and it doesn't happen until after then. Here's one more look at the wind gusts. This is from one of our computer models, but it's doing a pretty good job matching up with reality. Between now and 4 o'clock, the strongest winds will be ending really over southern Maine. By 4 o'clock, we'll start to shift the winds to out of the west, and then it's more of a central and eastern Maine issue into the evening. This is 6 o'clock, and notice the vast majority of the state west of Penobscot Bay, the wind direction has changed. It's not quite as strong, but in eastern Maine, particularly Hancock and Washington counties, we're still getting gusts 50 plus miles per hour. Even there, by 8 o'clock tonight, the winds have come around to the west, and sure, they're gusty, but they're not the same strength that they were earlier, so we don't anticipate new issues tonight. Want to show you the outage risk. This displays that pretty well. Risk highest here in southern Maine for the next hour or hour and a half, and then that risk continues to move east as the front goes by, and you can see the front right there with the wind arrow showing that change in direction. Send it back outside to Dana. Any last minute thoughts here as we wrap up this 2 o'clock update? We're going to be back with you at 3 as well for another update.
Hi Ryan, I would say in the past minute or two that you've been talking, it has gotten steadily windier, as we will see as that front continues to get closer. I was actually watching the flags on the flagpole behind me, and I think that's a really good way to show just simply how windy it is. Again, the rain hasn't gotten that much harder, maybe light to moderate rain, and we'll have more updates both from outside and inside over the next few hours as this front continues to move from west to east across the state. So Ryan, I'll send things back inside. I'm hoping to get dry in the next few minutes.
Thanks, Dana. This time of the year, I'm used to saying come inside and get warm. But in this case, today you might be warm outside. It's 53 right now in Portland. Wanted to show you the regional temperature map because you can really appreciate the temperature drop behind the front. So it is going to happen, but it happens gradually. It's not going to be instantly from 50s to freezing tonight. There's the hour by hour. We showed you that before. Our peak wind gust forecast has panned out pretty well so far, I think. I don't see any major reason to change this. Of course, we just gusted to 55 miles per hour in Bangor. They could end up getting a few gusts higher than that, but they've always been in that general area of near there. So that's going to wrap it up for this update. Again, we're going to be back with you at 3 o'clock, and I expect between now and then some of the strongest winds will be crossing through southern Maine and entering the mid-coast. If you have any pictures, videos, near me section of our News Center Maine app, great. We'll share those through the evening. You can also email us weather@newscentermaine.com. Have a good afternoon.